Good evening and welcome back, everybody. Hope everyone had a wonderful week. Looking forward to the weekend here. Going to the local botanical gardens here because they have a big pumpkin carving exhibit tonight. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that. Hopefully it doesn't rain on us while we're doing it, but it should be a lot of fun going to do that. But before we go, I've actually been watching a little bit of baseball. The game right now that's on is the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies are in Game 3. Philadelphia is taking care of Atlanta tonight. We'll see what happens maybe tomorrow. Hope the games go to 5 games. Hope the series go to 5 games for most of them because I enjoy watching playoff baseball, especially when I don't have a vested stake in any of the teams that remain in it. My dad's Cardinals went out pretty quickly last week, so that was the last team I was really kind of rooting for. So now I'm just kind of rooting for the stories and rooting for the competition. And I saw earlier today that Cleveland won. I'm not a big Cleveland fan per se, but I think I kind of like watching that team because I think they're a little bit sneakier better than a lot of people think. And I could see them kind of sneaking in, potentially getting into the World Series, even though I know Houston's a juggernaut. But I wanted to do the video tonight because I actually, as you can see before you, I got 4 graded cards from the 1953 Bowman color and actually have a little bit of a set update. I picked up off of eBay a lot of 20 cards for 1953 Bowman color. I actually have another lot on its way too, but this is the bigger of the 2 that I received. One thing I found out when I was looking on eBay for lots of 53 Bowman and also for 48 Bowman is there's not like huge lots out there for bid, and I know that can vary from time to time, but they're unlike when I was building other sets where you could find lots and lots and lots. Even with 57, this was true. 53 Bowman, some of the lots were just like 2-3 cards. So I'm like, well, I'm trying to make a big dent at once. I'm trying to get a bigger lot. So I stuck with one for 20. It was actually one I did for a best offer, and I was pretty happy if I got the price. But I wanted to just kind of show you the cards and kind of walk you through my process of what I do when I'm building sets. So I thought that might be entertaining. So there's duplicates. This is the stack that I have to date, in addition to the 4 graded cards that you see there. And you can see the first card I have is a duplicate of one I've already have. So I'll tell you what I do with those. I'm going to start with back forward, just so we can kind of go through the names on there. So again, for those of you who are not familiar with 53 Bowman, this was the first set by Bowman that had full color photos, first set, and it may have been the first large set of its kind that had full color photos. And it kind of bankrupted them, putting all this energy into this product and trying to stay competitive with Topps. They didn't really forecast their costs with their profits in the same way, so they just kind of burned through money, even though they made a beautiful baseball card. I know you could probably say that there's been a lot of great years of cards over the years, especially in the vintage era. But of this era, probably 53 is the one I think a lot of people kind of gravitate towards, of having 2 awesome major sets of Bowman and also for Topps that year. And if you want to throw in like some of the other sets like Redman's and things like that were also in production that year. Just some beautiful cards. But that's the biggest feature on here, is just the beautiful color photography that you have here, and also the lovely stadiums there in the background. Major stadiums featured are going to be the Polo Grounds and also the Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium. There's actually just one other, I think, that's not that, and that is the Ebbets Field, which is on the Gil Hodges card back there. But you get to see like pretty good images of both those stadiums. The reason being, Bowman was stationed not too far from there as a company, but I believe the photographers were trying to make it easy as possible. And so they had a photographer, I think just a couple of them set up in New York, and were just kind of bouncing around through the stadiums, getting the players that would agree to do this. The back of the card, they expanded it from the previous editions where they actually put like a full stat line here. They gave the option of actually having you fill in the stat line for the coming year on there, so you could actually collect the card and actually keep up and follow baseball, so you can put your stats on there for your favorite player as they played. I'm glad a lot of kids didn't do that, so we have cards that don't have writing on there, but if they do, you can imagine. There is a total of 160 cards of the color set. There's also black and white set too, which I think is pretty much understood to be those are cards that were intended to be an extension of the color set, but they kind of ran out of money to be able to continue to produce the color set. So they switched to black and white, but the numbers started back again at 1. So a full color set is considered to be 160 cards. So start some of the pictures here, and I'll kind of walk through them. As you see, the first one was Bob Rush for the Chicago Cubs. Have a little bit of a bio on there. Some just basic information on obviously the team they played for, where they were born. This player was born in Battle Creek, Michigan. The date of birth, this guy was born in 1925 and December 21st. His height and weight and what he bats and throws. This guy was both a right-handed thrower and a right-handed hitter, and he was a pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. Some of these cards are going to have a little bit of marks on here, so ideally I don't want cards with writing. I don't want them bent. So these are ones I probably will swap out as I start upgrading the set over time. But they would just happen to be part of the lot. This is Ken Raffensperger from the Cincinnati Reds from York, Pennsylvania. And he's also another pitcher. Beautiful old Cincinnati Red uniforms. Luke Esther from the Cleveland Indians. He was born in St. Louis, Missouri. Wonder if he was a Browns fan, Cardinals fan, or other as a kid. Maybe a Negro League fan at that point. We got Adele Ennis from the Philadelphia Phillies. Most of these were in pretty good shape. That's why I actually got the lot. They're probably within the range of what I'd be collecting. I'm not trying to get Expert Mint Plus for all these cards. You can see like the graded cards I have in the back. The best one I have is a 5. That's the Red Shandies. But also not trying to get cards that are totally torn up either, which might be kind of a challenge when I get to the ones that are a little higher priced that I still need to pick up, which are the Pee Wee Reese card and also the Mickey Mantle. Jim Hegan from the Cleveland Indians. Catcher. Old Yankee Stadium there. You can see the side back there. Hector Rodriguez from Havana, Cuba, for the Chicago White Sox. I think he was the backup infielder at that point because it was Nellie Fox and it was up in the corner over here. And I believe Chico Carousel was the shortstop for the White Sox at the point because Luis Aparicio wasn't with the team yet. This is the outfield for Yankee Stadium back there. Sal Maggie from the New York Giants. Picture taken at the Polo Grounds. Joe Dobson, another White Sox player. Also taken from Yankee Stadium. He's 14 and 10 in 1952, just so you know. Harry Perskowski from the Cincinnati Reds. Dodger cards, Yankee cards are going to go for a little bit more for this era, and even a little bit of the Giants too. Willie Mays is not in the set. Ted Williams is not in the set because they're actually in military duty at that point. It's also, this is the last issue of a widely produced Stan Musial card, as far as like from Bowman or Topps. Again, until 1958, and appear again until 58. That makes it kind of interesting for him. Here's Harry Simpson. It's got a little bit of crayon on the back, it looks like. Kids, even back in the day, they were drawing on things you didn't want them to draw on. Sally Hemus from the St. Louis Cardinals. Pretty cool image right there. Jack Daniels. I wonder what his favorite drink was. Another one has a little bit of writing on there from crayon, I believe. From the Milwaukee Braves. Guess they were already in Milwaukee at that point, huh? That was funny, because I think this is the year they actually moved, because I think the Eddie Matthews card I have from 53 Topps actually says, I believe it says the Boston Braves, if I'm not mistaken. So this must have been the year they actually moved. So that's pretty interesting. So he's got the Boston cap on. That's a little bit of interesting history right there. Joe Astroff from the Philadelphia Athletics. Ray Boone from the Boone family. Here he is. There's the first one. Cleveland Indians. As you know, his son right now is managing the New York Yankees. sorry, his grandson. That's not his son. His son was Bob Boone. Got duplicates here of Carl Ferrullo, the only Dodger that came in this lot. Flannels just really stand out on these cards. They're really cool. Flannel uniforms. Don Mueller from the New York Giants. That beautiful blue sky in the background. Paul Miner from the Chicago Cubs. Charlie Grimm, manager for the Milwaukee Braves. Again, wearing a Boston Braves cap. Just an awesome looking card. And the last one I have is a duplicate, and that's Vic Wertz from the St. Louis Browns. St. Louis Browns. All right, so what I typically will do when I get the duplicates at this point, or I just take the cards, I just put them in order in there, and then I take out the ones that are duplicates. At some point I'll probably do that, but since I don't have that many, I'm not too worried about the duplicates. So this one starts with 110, it's the first number, so I'll take the ones and kind of go from the back. So I think the first one I have is gonna be 138. So, whoop, I just knocked the camera down. Sorry about that, guys. So here's the 5 that I have that are higher numbered than that. Whitey Ford is probably the coolest one of the bunch. And I'll just put them right on top. And the next number I have in this pile is going to be number 57, which is Lou Boudreau. And this one, the lowest number on here is 2, but the next number is 69. So I can actually just stick the rest of the stack in with this and put Vic on top. And what I probably will do now, after I turn off this video, is actually see where I'm at with my set. Haven't developed a checklist yet. I won't do that until I probably have a much larger lot of cards. And then I'll start kind of targeting probably individual cards to fill out the lot. I think I might still go with try and get some graded cards for the stars on here and Hall of Famers, especially the more expensive cards. But for all the common cards, these are perfectly fine. I know that there are other sets out there of all graded cards. If you really want to see this set really highlighted exceptionally well, look no further than 53 Bowman. His stuff is fantastic. He's got a beautiful set, and he's highlighted every single card, but he's also highlighted some of the differences and features amongst all the cards. That video was actually one that kind of got me really interested in the set too. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll show you my other lots as they do come in. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon.